Hey, hello leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr. and welcome back to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So today I titled today's episode, High Performing Leaders Know What They Love. Now, and I could add to that, they not only know what they love, but they make it a priority. Now, I'm recently going through this book, Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. And it says, train your mind for extraordinary performance and the best possible life. Now, you might have heard of this book because one of the receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles last Super Bowl was reading this book while he wasn't on the field. He was on the bench, sitting down, reading this book during the Super Bowl. So that got a lot of attention and a lot of people bought this book. But in this book, right off the bat, Jim Murphy, fairly quickly in the book, he goes into what we love and the importance of knowing what we love, because that is in our innermost self. All right, that's basically, if we are to know ourselves, we have got to know what we love. And he comes up, he has three questions to determine what's most important to you. And these three questions, according to Jim, are your deepest desires. All right? It's what you love. And he talks about how if you figure out what you love most, well, that's a really good indicator of whether or not you're afflicted by what he calls the affluenza virus, which is basically when you focus on possessions, achievements, looks, or physical appearances, money, and status. Because he said all of these 5 things steal your dreams. They steal what your deepest desires are, and they will never, ever truly satisfy you. Because if you are really focused on those things, you're going to continually want more of those things. So you're never going to be, it's a constant wheel that you're on, this crazy wheel, and it just keeps going and going and going. And you make so much money and you're like, okay, well, now I want to make that much money. And now I want to get, and you buy a boat and, well, got a boat. Well, now I want a camper, or now I want this, or now I want a bigger boat or a better boat. And you just never really settle in to focus on your deepest desires. And this is really important. As I read through this, I was like, man, I think I know what I love, and I think I make it a priority, but do they? So I went through these questions, and here's the questions. The first one is, what do I dream about? What do I dream about? And I challenge you today to, take some time and answer these questions, because these questions are going to reveal what your deepest desire is. You're going to see a trend, which I did. All right, so number 1, again, what do I dream about? The second question is, what do I worry about? Or what regularly makes me anxious? Think about that. What makes you anxious? What do you worry about? And it doesn't have to be one thing. You could write down several things. I know I did. And I narrowed it down at the end of the exercise. And then the third thing is, what do I get upset about? Or what makes me the angriest? So what do I get upset about? What makes me the angriest? Now, Jim says that the answer to these 3 questions reveals what, in the deepest place of your heart, is most important to you. He also says your life will be as stable as whatever that one thing is. And that's the thing, or he says that thing is what your life is built around. So today, man, I challenge you to just think about these 3 questions and find out what you truly love and determine how stable that thing is in your life. Also ask yourself, what can you do to add more stability to that one thing? Or what can you do to prioritize that one thing more, greater than what you're prioritizing it now? And then after you do all this, ask yourself a question. Would others in your life that know you, would they say that that's your true love? And that's what your deepest desire and priorities are. That is what you prioritize. Will they say that they clearly know that because they see you taking action and making that thing a priority? Now, this is gonna be challenging. If you really do this, man, you're gonna dig deep, and you're going to. It was eye-opening for me, and it was also really unsettling to a point, because I realized that, man, that one thing, yeah, do I prioritize it? Is it a priority to me? Yeah. And I mean, it's easy to say, if you're a Christian or a spiritual person, it's easy to say, well, God's my number one thing. I know that's what, well, do you prioritize God? Do you, is that, if that's your deepest desire to pursue God and mirror him and become more like Jesus or whoever your God is, are other people going to be able to easily identify, yeah, that's you? Well, I mean, so I would say, besides God, what other thing in your life is the biggest priority? And as I went through this, it was clearly my wife is my deepest desire, to have a loving, happy, Christian-based marriage, to have a marriage that lasts forever. And we're going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary next month. But I'm telling you what, it's been like a freaking roller coaster. And if anybody out there is married, and marriage is work. It's definitely, it takes two people working and really focused on the other person to work. And it's hard to focus on somebody else, because let's face it, we want to focus on ourselves. But when you realize, when you ask these questions and you answer these questions and you really dive deep, it's going to reveal your deepest desire. Now, I was happy to find out that I did not have this affluenza virus that he talks about, all right? Because I didn't really, possessions, achievements, looks, money, status, probably the most, the thing on that list is the most desirable to me is achievements, because I love getting stuff done. And so I looked at that and said, all right, so if I love to get things done, well, why can't I put more things that I want to get done that are focused on Jen, my wife? And that would make her a priority. Plus, it would, fulfill my need for achievement. But I also just want to make sure that she knows without a shadow of a doubt that I love her. So I'm going to really try to do different things in my life to make sure that she is, without a shadow of a doubt, my priority, and that other people know it. So I challenge you to really take this seriously and answer these three questions. And it took me several days to really get through these. I wrote down a lot of notes, and then I went back and I reviewed them, and I looked, and it was pretty obvious right off the bat, but I wanted to discover more than just that one thing. What else is going on in my life? And I said high-performing leaders know what they love in the beginning, because knowing your deepest desires allows you to know why you do certain things, why you act certain ways, why you value certain things, why certain things really piss you off, or certain other things really make you happy and joyful and, just happy to be alive. And when you start knowing that, well, that's when you can really grow as a leader and be the best leader possible for your people. And then in turn, you can share this stuff with them too. And you could get to know what their deepest desires are, because that's going to tell you why they do certain things and why they act a certain way in certain situations. So this is a pretty deep dive into yourself, deep into yourself. And I'm really, I'm just getting into this book, and I'm going to be talking a lot about this book on the podcast. And I'm going to reach out to this Jim Murphy to see if he can be a guest on the show. It's a long shot, but hey, you never know. I won't know unless I ask, right? And the worst thing you could do is say, no, I'm not going to be on your show. But I'm going to hope for that. And I'm going to try to reach out and contact him. And he is a coach for, it says he is a, what does it say here? He's a performance coach on mental skills to the best athletes and leaders in the world. So obviously one of the wide receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles might be one of his clients, or he just might have picked up the book. But a friend of mine told me about it. And so it's a good book. I would recommend you pick it up. I don't have any links or anything to it, and I'm not getting any kickback for the book, but it's called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. Hey, that's it for today. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this as I get deeper and deeper into this book. But and I'm going to try to give you little exercises like this to maybe help you in your journey of getting to know yourself. Because behavior, how you behave in certain situations, is critical to know what's behind that, what's driving that behavior. And that's really interesting, and it's what I love to dive into and teach you how to dive into as well. Hey, have a great rest of your day. And if you want to talk more about this, or if you just want to contact me, you can always contact me at paul@clcteam.com. That's my email. And, you can email me. I will email you back. If we need to jump on a call, I'd love to jump on a call with you. But this is really interesting stuff. And again, I'm still working on getting guests on the show. I have several that I have lined up. I'm still working out some questions on how I'm going to do this format. And I'm trying to work that into all the other stuff that I got going on. But it's going to happen. And I'll guarantee you're going to enjoy it. So that's it for today. Until tomorrow, you know what to do. Run to your challenges. We'll see you.